So it finally happened. As the late great Lance Reddick as Commander Zavala once famously said, whether we wanted it or not, Destiny is finally coming to an end. But this isn't the glorious, triumphant finale that generations of Guardians were all hoping for. Instead, it just feels like it's a painful stumble across the finish line. Some of you might not actually know this, but this channel actually begun life as a Destiny channel all the way back in the Destiny 1 days. Like many of you, I eventually wrote off the series, but I remember when this first came out and how I was just locked into this video game, even from the first ever Destiny beta, way back when. Now I just don't have the time to think endless hours that are required to commit to a massive live service machine anymore, even one that really brought me as much joy as Destiny did. Somehow, it's incredible that these guys were able to somehow capture lightning in a bottle. It's really hard for me not to feel a deep sense of sadness looking at where things stand today. Destiny was like the blueprint. It was the game that every other game or every other developer in the industry was scratching their heads and asking, like, how do we get a piece of that? This was the one that was almost to rule them all. Like every single studio was just chasing and chasing. They captured this uniqueness not just once but multiple times. You know, Mystery of Vault of Glass, the execution of Taken King, the whole thing with Galahorn when that dropped, the Weekend Adrenaline, the Trials of Osiris when that started, the whole Shiva arc, the absolute masterpiece that was the Forsaken expansion after the initial dud kind of launch of Destiny 2 and the first few expansions. Just the lore, the characters, the unforgettable raid moments with your fire team. They just had this formula that every single person was chasing. And you saw that with so many live services coming out. For example, we all thought that Anthem was the next big one to come out, but just because of how cool it was with the javelins and them flying. But even within that studio, they acknowledged just how large and how much of an impact Destiny was that they specifically said, hey, do not mention Destiny. You know, that's a whole different story just about how, and in some cases now has affected Bungie as to how just clueless some of these developers are. You have someone who had this created this winning formula. There's nothing wrong with copying their homework and figuring out what other ways in which you can improve it, but no, we just don't want to hear it. We don't want to talk about it. And now Bungie, you had a winning formula, and somehow they've managed to blow it. They had so much momentum, in fact, to the fact that Sony shelled out about $3.6 billion to acquire them. And man, the leadership team that were able to pull off that valuation, like, man, if this was Shark Tank, you guys just made off with a killing. And you could see that from the other things that ended up happening afterwards. Instead of securing the future, that massive influx of cash just seemed to signal the beginning of the end. Essentially, all the leaders just cashed out and just started indulging in their own vices or wants. I mean, look at the multi-million-dollar classic car collection that one of their leaders actually got. I mean, that's nice and all. And hey, I love cars too as well, just as the next guy. But if doing that means you losing sight of the very studio community that allowed you to get there in the first place, how sustainable is this entire thing at all? And some of you might look at it and just say, hey, he finally got that FU money and was like, yeah, FU, I'm out. I'm going to go ahead and do whatever it is that I want to do. And they left Sony holding the bag. And to some extent, that's kind of where we're at right now. tragic part about all of this is that they didn't even have to reinvent the wheel. They had the perfect template right in front of them. You have Digital Extremes with Warframes doing exactly, for the longest time, they've always been the strong second in the entire live service industry. They've been doing things incredibly well. And if you play Destiny, you know Warframe. They are a strong number two. And they're just been doing the thing that they've been doing for a long time. They're number two in the looter shooter space. They are succeeding precisely because they listen to their community and they continuously scale sustainably to the point that they're leveraging that success and trying to do something new now with Soulframe. And we'll see how that goes. And so far, from everything I've seen, that looks like a new fun, almost like medieval slash RPG magical world version of kind of the same model they have at Warframe. So it's crazy that they had this strong number two who they saw was doing things the right way, catch up with them, but instead Bungie leadership decided to take a different path. And now, in the wake of like the brutal repeated layoffs, you have to wonder if the studio will ever truly recover or even resemble what it was before. I mean, when Bungie eventually rolled off of Halo, we all wondered what they were gonna end up doing, and they somehow struck gold with Destiny, and they levered that into so much success that they became the blueprint for everybody else in this whole looter shooter endeavor, or live service endeavor, I would say. The, the one thing that they have right now with Marathon is just, it, it's a little bit just sad. They've had so much controversy, the leadership shakeups, the negative internal feedback. Now they're finally trying to convert it into something that a little bit resembles Destiny with, a PvE coming back into it. I don't know. It just seems like this wasn't the right path to go. Even down to the fact that Sony at some point prior to had to step in and kind of restructure the studio and have them do a whole bunch of stuff to get Marathon to exactly where it is right now. And you can literally see this in the numbers. Go online right now and you see the numbers comparable versus Marathon and Destiny, and you see where both are. It's just really interesting that they chose to go down this path. And I get it. Sometimes you want to do something different, and you've been doing something that's the same for a while, and you need to kind of freshen up things. But you can only imagine what would have happened if Bungie just decided to simply just double down on what you're great at. Take player feedback, respect the community's time, implement the updates that people have been asking for decades on the PvP and PvP end, and provide that best return on investment and player engagement, and you would still have that money just rolling in. But hey, I guess we'll never know. Now, Bungie's still announcing that they're going to be doing a whole bunch of content to put into the pipeline for Destiny 2 before it's finally put out to pasture. And a lot of it is a lot of stuff that people have been asking for a long time, but it still just doesn't feel like a victory lap. It just feels like less a grand exit and more of like, hey, I'm just quietly going to sneak out the back door before the party is officially over, and hopefully no one notices. But Destiny and Bungie overall, they're just way too big to just sneak out of the party and leave without a sound. When the doors eventually shut on Destiny, like, it's going to have ramifications. It's already having ramifications. You're seeing how the discourse is online and how people are reacting to it. And while I understand the financial and probably the mental necessity for this chapter to close so the company can attempt to pivot, it doesn't seem at this particular point in time, and I hope that it does incredibly well, and Bungie as a studio continues to grow with things like Marathon or even something else. But it just not so easy to see right now based off of how things are going. The sheer level of mismanagement that it took to get us to this point that we're going to this conclusion is really staggering. And it's the kind of corporate tragedy actually, that I'm sure we're going to end up reading books, articles, or maybe even a Netflix special about in a couple of years. However, will tell what the future holds. And for what's left of Bungie, as a longtime fan myself, I really, really wish them the best. And I really hope that whatever the future holds for them, whether it's Marathon or something new, that they have the best success. I get it. Sometimes we all have to kill our darlings, but no one ever said that we have to enjoy it. So, to all my fellow Guardians out there, eyes up. I'll see you out there in the stars. Be safe out there. Peace.